Hey everyone, welcome back to my Workbench. It's been a few days. Had the wife's birthday on Saturday, and then for some reason got sick with something, so not been feeling great. But I did manage to get some. Don't need that. And some time today to. Oh, Jiminy Crickets, really. This is the 5200 overlay controller. Everything's all mounted up now. It's just a matter of wiring it. I just went through and figured out what columns and rows these guys are. These pots I get pretty close to what they need to be before I even calibrate or anything. So right now I just figured out how to hook up this new keypad. It's actually more logical than oh my god, look at my other screen. Why is everything falling? Okay, so then we have look at my other screen here. So yeah, this one's a lot simpler. Other ones, it skips all over the place with the rows and columns are, and this one's as simple as this. It just goes from basically row 1 to row 4, column 1 to column 3, and so does not use white. This is this flat IDC cable that I like to use. Brown, red, orange. Brown, red, orange. Yellow is not used. That's column 4. That's used for this guy up here. And see if I get the auto strip to work without slicing my hand open. I cut my thumb open the other day on this thing. It like slipped and I got myself right in the jaws of this darn thing. That worked. I need a better auto stripper. Yay! Like I said, still sick. Though I did find a nice little docking station for my laptop and it works really nicely. I was happy about that. How long this video is going to be today? I'm a little wonky today. I wanted to get this controller done over the weekend, but life got in the way. And then getting sick and all that fun jazz. Not good. Really not feeling 100% right now. That was weird. Why did everything go black a second? It's still recording. Oh, whatever. Crazy machine. Alright, so the interface with this cable, luckily I have a nice assortment of it's just 100,000 spacing little header pins. These are real common. So what I end up doing is just kind of look for a vise if I don't fall over here. Oh, why am I doing this? I don't feel well. There it is. I need my helping hands today. There we go. These are helping hands. I don't want to burn myself today. Okay, back to the diagram. Back to the diagram. So you're starting from brown. Let's tin these up a bit first. I actually went through 100 grams of solder. It took a few years, but I finally went through a full roll. I had to bought the exact same one. Still make it same price and everything, which was good. It's in case you electronics nerds out there, I like using the 6040 tin lead solder. SN is tin, PB is lead, so 6040 lead, and not too much flux, and this is a 0.6 millimeter diameter, which is a nice compromise between being too thick and too thin, kind of Goldilocksy. Speaking of that, my wife, she's been going back and forth. She's going to have a mastectomy, double mastectomy in April, so I'm going to finish all my orders out for this month, and I probably won't be taking any more in April until she heals up a bit. And one of the surgical closures, well, she's real sensitive to outside stuff in her body, so implants aren't really a great fit for her. Brown, red, orange, no pun intended. And she was thinking about going flat, but the psychological ramifications of that are not all that great. So there's something called Goldilocks, which is right between. So they take out a lot of the breast tissue, but the closure, they basically keep the subcutaneous fat, and it looks kind of like just a smaller breast. And it's a good option for women who have larger breasts, which she does have. And so you get to keep some of your shape without having to do implants, and it's all your natural body too, so you don't have to worry about. I'm having a hell of a time today. So you don't have to worry about rejection. There's something called DEEP as well, DIEP, I think the letters are, and they take skin from your stomach or lower abdomen, if you want to be technical about it, and they create new mounds for you. But that's a quite involved procedure, and she's had blood clots earlier, so not the best thing. She's on blood anticoagulants right now. Not the one I'm on. I'm on Xarelto because I have a blood clotting disorder, genetic. So if any, I'm sure I'm not the only person who has factor V Leiden. So when I had a pulmonary embolism like 13 years ago, I think it was, and they had me on heparin and warfarin. Well, I went through my neck here, went down to my lungs, and broke up all the clots. But at this point, my camera was not pointing down very well. I was looking at the other screen too much. Went through my lungs, put these clot breakers in there, and broke up all the clots. But that was all due to the genetic factors. That's that factor V Leiden, where you don't, your body doesn't break down your clots fast enough, which is probably some good evolutionary reason. It seems to be very prevalent among people of Northern Europe, particularly Scandinavian countries, which, believe it or not, even with the black hair, I am like almost half Swedish, I think. So it's very common among the Nordic people. And I survived that, and they had me on this horrible stuff, warfarin, which is cheap, but you have to get blood draws all the time, and it just plain sucks. But I'm on Xarelto. She's on something, Eliquis, I think it is. It's a different anticoagulant, because chemo and that was a bad tin there. Chemo and the cancer itself can cause blood clots, and she had blood clots went to her lungs, so they didn't have to go in or anything like that, but it delayed surgery a bit. Trim these down a little bit. And yes, I do wash my hands after every time I solder, and I don't put anything in my mouth when I'm soldering. Gray. So you can see you can flow. Green. I like using the tin lead solder just because it flows better. So yeah, she's gonna have her surgery, I think the 15th next month. Blue. And get that done. So see how that goes. So if I disappear for a few weeks in April, that is why. I'll probably cut off all orders by April 1st and resume after that. So my goal is to get everything shipped out before then, so I can focus on the family, not little projects here. Alright, so every time I work on these, I'm getting a little bit neater every time we're trying to. These are little custom brackets I have. Kind of nifty, actually. Really happy with those. This is like my third or fourth revision on these brackets, and now they're pretty much dead on where they need to be. Now I've learned I put a little bit of extra force on these couplings, because I use this pressure sensitive adhesive stuff, and the more force you put on to it, the stickier it gets. So both these brackets are actually loaded a little bit, so the coupling's actually captured really well. So that gets that. Maybe I'll do some of the other wiring while I'm here. So what I do is I cut a single length of this IDC cable. It says 20 conductor, and I plan it out so it's just the right colors for what I need. And as long as I make it the width of this box, everything fits. So next up, I'll go through and knock out the two joysticks, the joystick pots. Yeah, so this is the second. This is the first one I'm going to ship. I have another one which had a little spacing issue here, so I decided I'm just hold that one back, and I just recut a new piece of plastic. And this is one's going to go out to the folks at the Atari 5200 podcast. So that'll be going up. One up today's Monday, probably Wednesday, because I'm feeling kind of vile. Okay, a little delay there. Ironically enough, we were talking about the breast surgery, so there it is. Now, originally the doctor wanted to do lumpectomy, but she's heard too many horror stories about people having to get revised after that, and then they wanted to do, where's my little doohickey? This little thing I made. They wanted to do the implants. Their body likes rejecting stuff, and then we found out about Goldilocks, which sounds like a pretty decent option to go with. I'm just gonna probably finish off some of this work on here first. And that's other than the color pink, this controller, I should say, uses the exact same colors as the original wiring colors as the original 5200, which is nice. It's on the original 5200. They used the black was for X, pink is for the Y, and white was the color for the VJC, voltage joystick common. some nice, doing nice relaxing solder work here. And what I end up doing is it all goes back to a little, found these cute little perf boards here I'm using. And that's the magic there that makes this all analog. And that's the, well, there's a bit of magic that makes it analog. I have 200 nanofarad capacitors, one for each axis, and then the having to swap out the original potentiometers with these are 1 meg 1 meg pots instead of the original. These joysticks either come with a 5 or a 10K, so I go through and swap it out, and I have the coupler in there, and I have these little brackets I made up. So secret projects that are coming. So for people who watch these videos, you get a little preview of things that come. So I found a nice slope front enclosure. So I think I'm gonna make a version with the slope front because I realized I can just cut it upside down on my CNC. And then I have the double secret, which is I'm thinking of doing a handheld version of the controller, which is only going to be very slightly larger than the original 5200 controller. So that's coming along. That'll take a couple weeks before our friends from China get that over here. And then finally, the not so double secret, but something I've wanted to do for myself. I wanted to make an anti-digital where I'll have it'll be like the dual stick, except the left stick will be a analog stick, and then the right stick will be a digital stick that's wired in parallel with the potentiometers. So I'll have a 4-way gated digital stick. So if you're playing like Pac-Man or whatever, you have a nice 4-way gate. But then if you wanted to use the analog functions, you just move your hand over to the other one, and they'll both work. So you can, if you want to do digital controls, you want to do analog controls, it's just a matter of moving your hand from one side to the other. And I'll do the digital joystick with a 4-way gate enabled, so it will be just for games that would really benefit from a 4-way joystick. All right, trim these down a little bit. Is the final PC board sits right about here, and that's where the cord comes out for it as well. And because I've done this too many times, I can do it from memory. And then we finally have your gray, violet, green, gray, these three. So yeah, that's what's coming up next. Is those three: the slope front, a handheld, and an analog digital combo stick. And I'm trying to figure out, I think I can fit in the other one I want to work on, since I got the single stick version, a dual stick overlay compatible. So that's the next one coming up. I'm thinking that's like the 4th one. So a lot of things coming along, and coming along in terms of controller design. So this is, we have the OG version, we got the dual stick, we have the overlay compatible version here, and then maybe a slope front if I can get that to look nice, and then a handheld version. I should think I got one that enclosure will just fit it. Though I did order and get in some of these shorter potentiometers, physically shorter. I have to figure out how to do the couplings different though. So I come up with these little shorter couplings, but I need to actually come up with a bracket for the pots themselves, because they don't really have, they're not knurled or anything. They're not, I mean, they're not, they don't have a threaded shaft. It's just a round shaft. So I'm gonna have to figure out something I can 3D print for those, because I really like to try like a truly modern self-centering controller, handheld for the 21st century that will be just like the size-wise, just a touch bigger than the original 5200s handheld. Of course, all modern components, and basically all these guts shrunk down as much as I can. The hardest thing is going to be also fitting this guy in. I might have to go with a change out some of these brackets a little bit so I have less height in there, because the enclosure I have should be pretty close to being the right height for this. Worst case, I'll have to cut a hole in the back and come up with a 3D printed cover for it, just for aesthetic reasons. Right now I'm just wiring up the fire and trigger buttons. In case you're wondering what they're called. The lower one's fire, the upper one's trigger. I know, because I have the manual for the 5200 in my file cabinet behind me. Someone published years ago the complete like technical manual for the 5200, which I am eternally grateful for, because there was a lot of useful information in there. The only wire I end up a little short on is the gray wire. But not too bad. Done with this in a minute. That's off the bed. It's 11:06. Oh, this daylight savings time kills me. The switch, when you lose an hour of sleep, just throws you way off. It takes me like a week or two to get my bearings back. Key is go for walks during the day, so it kind of resets your circadian rhythms a bit. And the point is, like, just pick one. Either stay daylight savings time or stay the standard time. And last but not least, yeah, I'm gonna have to get a little extra wire. Do I have an extra gray? Yes, I do. So you get to really see how one of these goes together. Carefully. That's how they go together, carefully. There. This final wiring is the most labor-intensive part of the whole thing, because you have to go through and strip a bunch of wires. I don't know about you, but the postal service is killing me lately. Everything's taking forever. As I have a double secret project I want to work on, and that's the I just got a new ColecoVision, no, not new, a ColecoVision that's untested but complete. So I'll go through and probably swap the caps out on it, and I want to see if I can create a ColecoVision controller as well, because that and the Intellivision are just like, whoo boy, those are terrible controllers. So I have an Intellivision 2, which I really would like to make a decent controller for as well. So my goal in life is to create good controllers to replace the bad controllers on these pretty remarkable systems. Like the ColecoVision was pretty damn decent. It was the only MSX based system to release in the US, which is the Microsoft's. Microsoft, their first gaming console was not the Xbox, it is the MSX out of Japan. And the only one that came to the US was the Coleco, that architecture. Alright, so that's that. That's all wired up. All I got left to wire up is this little guy right here. But I'm getting tired. So I'm going to put this video up, and this should be done tomorrow. I'll do the final wiring, cal, and then ship the sucker out. Then I have 6 more controllers to make. 2 dual sticks and 4 conventionals, and I have 1 warranty repair that I'm going to put all new brackets in there. I'm going to pull the pots, put these new brackets in there, because spacing wise they're compatible, and see what's going on there. Because that one is a version 2 which had newer brackets, but these are even better lined up, so that's next. So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your well wishes with my wifey. And she's doing okay. Most of her hair is back, and surgery in about a month and a half, not even that from now. So everyone, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.